5:30. Time to call the meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is special activities. We have 2 oaths of office to administer. I'd like to have the firefighter paramedic Dylan Strickney please come forward. You probably have a copy of this. Use it if you need to use it. If you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Dylan Stickney,
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
required as a firefighter paramedic
required as a firefighter and paramedic
for Clearcreek Fire District, Warren County, Ohio,
for Clearcreek Fire District, Warren County, Ohio,
according to the law and the best of my ability,
according to the law and the best of my ability,
during continuance of my lawful employment.
during continuance of my lawful employment.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We've got plenty of time, so take your time to
Thank
get your
you.
pictures.
You don't have to.
I know.
Got him. Here. Oh, my God. I'll go to your story. You stay this way. Watch that.
Work your way around.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And we have a second oath to administer to Police Clerk Beth Jones. If you would, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Beth Jones,
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
required as a police clerk
required as a police clerk
for Clearcreek Township Police Department,
for Clearcreek Township Police Department,
Warren County, Ohio,
Warren County, Ohio,
according to the law and the best of my ability,
according to the law and the best of my ability,
during continuance of my lawful employment.
during continuance of my lawful employment.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so get home for
Thank
supper.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You're all welcome to stay for the meeting. We're welcome to go whenever you want. Anything from public comments at this time? Okay. Anybody have any items to be reviewed on the consent agenda? I do not. I do not either. And we have, the next item is the fiscal officer's report. Do we have anything tonight?
Nothing to report, sir?
Okay, all right. Moving on to new business, we have resolution 5576, a resolution authorizing the township administrator to enter into an electric aggregation agreement with an electric supplier recommended by Energy Alliances Incorporated, and dispense with the second reading by enrollment.
Yeah, if you remember, Rich Saris was here last week, or last meeting, with the intention of passing a resolution to secure equal to or better than pricing like we've done on prior electric aggregation agreements. The current agreements end at the end of May 2025 in the AES and Duke territory. As of today, the aggregation price that we have in our expiring deal is just slightly better than both AES and Duke, but all signs are pointing towards 9 cents or better in the next few months. So I would think that the aggregation prices we're able to get are probably going to be in that same general area as we had quoted. But Rich could not be here today, so are you?
Yes,
Kathy?
yes.
Kathy, come on up.
Kathy, come on up and
If you would.
stand the dais. This is Kathy with Energy Alliances.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Sure. I'm Kathy Peters. I'm here to answer any questions, I'm sorry, I didn't.
It's Matt.
Matt,
Mhm.
Matt. Just to kind of reiterate what Matt was saying, since the last time the Clearcreek Township entered into an electric aggregation agreement, it was May of 2023. The market was slightly lower than it currently is right now. There's a lot of variables that go into what increases market. It could be, the recent tariffs that have been implemented. It could be weather related. There's a lot of different reasons. But the biggest reason, there's another component that goes to generating power and the per kilowatt hour price, and it's called capacity. It's basically an insurance policy that is paid to the generators for reliability. So we need to make sure that there's enough power that's being generated in order to serve a region. And we don't have as much of a lot of the old coal-fired generators have been retired, so they need to bring on new generation to try and serve a lot of the demand that we have. And, the biggest demand currently is due to the data centers, the AI, cryptocurrency, a lot of the Amazons of the world, so, that's driving prices. Unfortunately for us, as ratepayers, we are going to be paying higher rates. We're confident that we are going to be able to keep the price under what Duke and AES price to compare is. We would never enter the township in an agreement unless we could beat those utility rates. The purpose of an aggregation is to save the community money. We have done a great job in the past. The community as a whole, each resident has saved about $400 a year. It averages about anywhere from 15 to 17% in either utility. So we would like to try to we have a little time that we can still try to see if the market softens up. Typically April, May, even parts of March are considered softer months, kind of the end of the winter, but the market is not responding that way right now, so it's a concern. And the inevitable thing is that ratepayers are going to be paying higher rates. So if you have any questions,
Have any questions?
Rich mentioned this morning in an email that in the Friday when you checked pricing, the price was about 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour, and says the market is likely to push Duke and AES well above 10 cents. It's kind of grim news.
Yeah, where are we now?
In Duke, we're at
6.86,
6.86.
and then AES is 8.49. So it's about, the capacity is averaging about 2.3 cents increase on the rate. So
That would be right about where we're going to be, probably.
And unfortunately, the grid operators, PJM, are the ones that set those prices. So we don't really have, you know, it's not really a market-driven thing. It's, the PJM grid operators that determine what those auction prices are.
They tell us what they need to have to operate.
Pretty much. So, it's grim news, I understand, but the inevitable, is, you know, it's gonna cost the residents money. Hopefully, we'll do our best job in keeping the rates under what utility rates are.
Okay, we hope we can. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Appreciate
Appreciate it.
coming.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.
So from a legislative perspective here, just because you give me the authority to sign that document, doesn't mean that Energy Alliance is actually gonna say, yeah, sign it. They may not like the number at all and say, forget about it, just go back to retail, like we did briefly a couple of years ago. But if the board has a number in mind, at or below that they would like to go for,
Stay where we've been.
yeah, right? I'd like to go back down to like 495 when I first got here. That was-
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I don't have a number, and what are you gonna do? We're gonna do what we get.
we just tell Rich to do the best we can.
That's right. That's all we can do. We probably should think of a little bit of strategy to prepare people on our website, probably start getting it out there. Maybe, I don't know, I have not seen anything in
Are we gonna see a disparity in the fluctuation between the two again? Because they buy at different times?
We could, yeah.
Yeah. I think, Duke goes to auction, this month, March 18th, and then again, April 18th. And AES has procured 50% of theirs. So I believe theirs is in April as well.
Okay.
So, I mean,
probably.
we will know by probably late April what the price to compare is. But due to the opt-out kind of timeline with letters and whatnot, you know, we might, I mean, we will have an inside gauge after the first auction for sure with Duke, what the price to compare will likely be.
Okay, well, thanks again for coming.
Sure.
We appreciate it. And you're welcome to stay, or if you walk out, we understand.
Well, I don't want to leave unless there's any other questions.
That's probably it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I think it's good.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
Thank you
Have
very
a nice
much.
party. I don't mean to escape on you all. Thank you.
If we did send out a warning, I don't want to alarm people and cause them to jump ship and something worse.
Yeah. Well, I guess we just make sure they know that, that's out to bid, and, we're not expecting to have, great results.
And it's not our choice.
Yeah, no, it's not something.
I mean, the good thing is the website that's out there that people have access to is pretty comprehensive.
Very.
And they can, it's pretty plain, simple. It spells it out, so.
Just have a phone number, you actually get a person to talk to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know the board doesn't necessarily have a number, but I don't think I would be comfortable giving Rich thumbs up for anything higher than 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour at this point in time.
Okay.
That's kind of where I am. So if you give me authority to sign at 9.5 and below, we'll see what the market bears. If it's higher than that, maybe just rely on Rich's advice and kind of let it slide for a bit. Go back to retail.
I was gonna say, if it's higher than we're gonna end up back at retail, so. That's,
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good number.
And hopefully it stays at 9.5 or below.
You guys want a motion to direct him to lock them into 9.5? complete or last.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard? Mr. Muersfall?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate news, but it's reality today. Okay, moving on to Resolution 5577, resolution authorizing the Township Administrator to incur obligations greater than $10,000 on behalf of the Township and dispense with the second reading of the title.
So yeah, there's 3 items on the incur obligations resolution, the first of which is, you saw last meeting in a preview, it's the purchase of a Dodge Durango Cruiser at better than state bid pricing to offset a total cruiser, as well as approving the outfit of that vehicle. I believe it's 2025 for Durango.
This is 25 Durango.
25 Durango?
Yeah.
25 Durango from Montrose Auto Group and our public safety duty outfit. Expenditure is $71,678.58, and we did already receive a check from our insurance carrier for $45,346 for the total cruiser, which included depreciated outfit equipment in that car, which was actually kind of a fight to get them to pay that. But the total cruiser was a 22 Ford Interceptor, and then that stuff transfers to a 25 Dodge Durango. So our claim was that that was totaled just like the rest of the car was, and they finally gave on it. Thanks to Pat for fighting for us.
Yeah.
Item number 2 is the VIP Analytics licensing and software for Russ. It's an annual expenditure of $15,645.10 for the term. And item C is a recommendation to apply the Loan Foundation Grant Award Funds, $40,199 to previous purchase of cardiac monitors for the fire district. And good thing the subject matter expert, Assistant Chief Bueller, is here because he worked on that pretty extensively. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask him about.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Assistant Chief? Anything you'd like to tell us? No?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Any other questions?
Church mouse, good call.
Any other questions about 5577? Is there a motion to approve 5577?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Muersfall?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. And we have a recommendation to adjust the administrative clerk salary, Sheila Praxis hourly rate to the pay of $25 an hour effective March 15th.
Yeah, so I guess we should be grateful if anything else that we got Sheila such a discount for a few years, but when we hired Beth, it is like police clerk at $26 an hour. It doesn't feel right to have somebody who's been with us for almost 3 years be that far behind her. And when I checked the comprehensive salary survey that I had from 24, it looked like she was well below average for an administrative clerk at $22 an hour. So my recommendation is to bring her up to $25 immediately, and I'll fix the rest of it next year.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this pay increase for Sheila Praxis?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yay.
Mr. Muersfall?
Yay.
Mr. Wade?
Yay. Okay. And then we have a discussion for the noise resolution.
So the board charged us with doing a little bit more research this past time. We were asked to figure out when trash collection nights were. And to the best of our knowledge, we could figure out that Rumpke generally collects on Monday morning. So we take cans out Sunday night, pick up Monday morning. And waste management is typically Thursday night, pick up on Friday morning. That seems to be pretty consistent throughout the entire township from what we've been able to gather, asking around, observing ourselves, that sort of thing. So if the garbage collection component was going to be tweaked in a resolution, you do so with the knowledge of what days that really has an effect. And staff further contemplated and talked over what we wanted to bring forward as, I guess, maybe a settled upon number from the staff perspective. back out there and stand alone, but in order to get something ratified, if it's a dumpster fire, it can be amended. If the board so chooses, it can be rescinded. The board, of course, could not pass it at all. But given the totality of the circumstances, 85 decibels appears more than generous for businesses as well as for folks that make noise during those hours. That's what we wanted to leave you with today. And of course, if the board does give staff the direction, we would advertise another public input meeting because
What's the hours for the 85?
7 a.m. to 10.
And then 50 from 10 to 7. Well, there isn't a good number. We don't know what's going to be.
You're going to make somebody upset.
Yeah, which doesn't matter. So I guess we have to start somewhere. Anybody have any other ideas or where you want to be? I don't know what 85 sounds like. So I can't say that 85 is better than 75. But
Remember, somebody from a couple meetings ago trying to duplicate it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
And that 50 after 10 would include music from Hidden Valley.
All properties.
Oh, yeah.
When do they usually shut down?
I've heard as late as 11 from testimony that's been given. Which, by the way, it appears that the Lanes have sold all of that property to the Hidden Valley Farms.
Right.
We don't have do we have a motion or a resolution? No.
We're not passing a resolution tonight, I just wanted to bring it forward to answer a question of the board.
When we started at 7. Correct. And we established that 80 to 90 was the range, and you settled at 85. Is that the nuts and bolts of it?
That's fair enough, yeah, that's a fair enough description of it.
And what did we establish about the trash collection? Other than we know what days they collect?
That is completely at the purview of the board, whether you accept it or not. Board's pleasure. There's valid concerns on both sides, noise being one of them, safety being the other. I know which one I would prefer, but
other than moving the hours, and you can't change the noise truck.
No, you can't.
effectively you would be forcing them to change their hours,
Yep.
Which would force them to change their collection.
Yeah.
which might put them to change their collection.
Yeah. I wouldn't fool with it. What do you think, Jason?
I mean, I'm just curious as to their strategy of, just like a bus route, you have to have a strategy. And 3:30 in the morning on a residential street in the township makes no sense. So you're pretty much guaranteeing one day a week that you're waking up the entire community that you're servicing.
If we push them out of the service window that they want.
Well, correct, but I just think it's interesting that this all came up and then people started reaching out. So,
Well, I've got complaints about trash collection since I started here. I mean, it's not every day. But
no, I understand
I'm gonna
you,
get one here.
but I had not until this subject became an issue.
Okay.
Like
And the people.
I don't care when they collect mine because I live 300 yards away from where I'd love for them to come down my driveway and pick it up. I don't think they're like taking it out in the middle of the winter, dragging it out there, but that's a different discussion. They don't offer that service unless I got a dumpster. So, I can't, in other words, I can't hear it when it happens at my house.
Nor can I in my house, because I
So.
live off of the TV.
I hear mine, but it's very close to the road.
You're actually right
Different
close to
deal,
it.
but every time they pick it up, I just say thank you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Do you hear yours?
Yeah, I hear
You're
mine,
pretty
but
close to the street too.
I just hear it and roll over.
When do they pick yours up, Steve?
I'd say, what was it,
I was gonna say, 'cause I think they hit me after they hit you.
I was 6,
Yeah, mine's usually about 5:30 or,
almost on the nose.
yeah.
I'm not out of bed, I should have been, so it's the,
I mean, I think there's some validity to the claim that it's safer to do it at that hour with far less traffic.
No, and there's no question about that, and then you don't have to worry about this.
Motorists, for the drivers, for the workers.
yeah.
I mean, I think 85 is the right number to start on that end of the discussion. And as we said from the beginning of this whole process, I held on to it for a second.
That's good. Very good.
There's no good answer here. It's just degrees of what we're gonna do.
I would say let's just take the garbage pickup out of the formula, and in the event that we have problems, let's say they change it to 2 or 3 in the morning, then we can address that issue. But,
Do we want to take it out of, the language out of the resolution entirely, or do we want to specifically accept it from?
Garbage pickup
Okay.
is going to be exempted from the.
And which it already, I mean, it's already in there that it is exempted, correct?
Yeah, but as currently drafted, it's exempted from 7 AM to 10 PM.
But not from 10 to 7 a.m.
Correct.
I thought the original one had exempted all the way around.
So did I.
So it sounds like the board's desire is to exempt it 24/7.
I think so, because that.
Yeah, unless we
Take the
have
7
issues,
and
and
then-
then when we have issues, then we'll adapt as we need to.
Again, this can be revived, there is no, there's nothing that says we can't revisit it.
It's certainly not gonna make everybody happy.
No.
I mean, no, we all know that, so go with, what we have, and we'll deal with it as it comes, I think.
Okay.
I don't wanna change.
We will draft, put out a second draft, and bring it back at a mutually convenient time for a public input notice again, if you want to do that early, if you want to do it in conjunction with your April meeting.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Same way we did it last time.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be in Texas.
That's perfect.
Are you gonna miss the first meeting or the second?
Yes.
That's the first?
It depends.
Depends on what the
We can
garbage
we can
here is.
video conference them in just for,
Lower your
just for
speed.
karma.
So that would be April 14th.
Perfect tax day.
Yes, it's the next day. People will be real happy.
Awesome.
Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
I'll just run do you want me to run the public input portion of it from 5 to 5:30 so it doesn't interfere with the meeting time itself?
I think that's a good idea.
Everybody will
We'll have
get
it in.
5 o'clock.
Do we have to be here for that?
So I think that's the point.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it being part of the 5:30 meeting.
Yeah, I appreciate it, really. They won't.
They're gonna, I mean, they're gonna speak, they're gonna stick around and wait on us to approve it anyway.
Okay, we'll do it at 5:30 then.
Okay.
And take out the garbage.
Yeah. So to speak. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anything else at this time under administration?
I will do a couple of things, and save a couple of things for the staff update. So I did brief everybody on our tourist dates and generally the input that we've got from the county engineer, the county commissioner's office, and county administration. The pool bonds, David, Ryan estimated about $176,000 to pave it. That's a fluid number.
Right.
See what we can get out of the bond, and generally speaking, it sounds like the engineer in the township can each bleed a little bit, kick in whatever's remaining that's not covered by the bond to get it paid this year. So that's kind of what we were planning to do there. Go ahead.
Getting the money out of the bonding company will not necessarily be a fast thing.
No, I expect we'll be reimbursed for it.
Right, I was gonna say, so we're gonna either the county's gonna have to put out all theirs, and we just do ours, which hopefully they'll do that, or we'll have to.
I envision it being a reimbursement arrangement, because frankly, I don't know, Ryan, how do you feel on this? I don't think it can wait another year.
No help. I don't think we'll wait.
Yeah, I'm holding the money on what I've got spent so far
Okay.
before I finish the paving list, so.
We certainly don't want to lose it all. We're
No,
going
no.
to do a full debt repair.
There'll be a few places we'll have to do that.
But it's going fast.
It's good.
Okay, well, Matt, thanks for working on that, I think it's turned out.
And the
as
last
good as it
item,
could be.
we also talked about briefly was the annexation request for the property that the city emailed us about. Jeff has received a stage 1 PUD, and he's putting it in front of regional planning in April.
Before the zone official.
In April.
So you'll
See
see
the end of March.
in May.
So, do have preliminary plans on it, annexation request from the city. As I advised the city manager, I didn't see any benefit to Clearcreek Township to allow that property to be annexed. So what I left the city manager with was, if the board does indeed decide to allow that property to be annexed, it would be against my recommendation. Plain and simple.
Well, I'm not interested in having it annexed, neither
I
are you.
think I've made my position crystal clear.
So, you know, we've discussed it at this meeting, and we might pass that on, and we'll go from there.
That's what I will do. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the police department.
I did have one thing that popped up just before I came down. The board remembers last year we had to come in with an emergency to buy some vest plates. The company that produced the vest plates for us, both state police agencies and federal police agencies had misrepresented their certifications and their point of origin, where they were made. We had a lead teletype that came in just before I came down that said Homeland Security had completed the investigation into that company. The state AG has charged the business, and they are working on a plea agreement that might include reimbursement. So I think it was around $30,000-ish, and we had to turn around and rebuy that from another company. So we'll be getting in line for whatever comes out of that plea agreement and those charges. But that company has been charged for what they did in misrepresentations they did to both federal and state police agencies. So hopefully we'll get something, but I'm not going to hold my breath because we'll see. It is interesting that it's a plea already with restitution talk that we got money somewhere that looks up, but it's kind of interesting. So.
And that company can hold their breath on our next order.
I'm sorry?
That company can hold their breath on our next order from them.
Yeah, it'll be a minute, yeah. Probably get lost in the mail.
Elon probably went after him.
Anything else, John?
No, that's it.
Okay. Fire department?
We have our February 2025 monthly report available for everybody to review. Recommendation to remove firefighter EMT Tanner Patterson from his probationary status and assign it as a permanent full-time employee effective March 17th. And we have the recommendation to accept the resignation of employment of firefighter paramedic Brock Bowen effective March 21st.
Okay.
Anything else not on the agenda to update the board on?
I'm sorry?
Got anything else not on the agenda to update the board?
No, I do not, thank you.
Chiefs at the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association meeting in Columbus, correct?
Correct.
Both those items are on the consent agenda. And then, just out of that question, is Rock Foreman moving on to another department, or do we know?
Yes, he's going to Washington Township.
Is he?
Going back to Washington Township.
What?
Going back to Washington Township.
Oh, I didn't remember. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Planning and zoning,
Nothing to mention.
all quiet. Okay. Our time is coming.
84 decibels.
Yeah. Road department.
Nothing this time.
All right, anything else under new business for any department? Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yay.
Mr. Gabbard?
Yeah.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah. And then some additional information from, anything else, Matt?
Hey, just one more thing, and something I talked to each of the board members about this past week, and about the drug task force. Willing to move their physical building location from a rental space to one that's owned. And the participating communities that benefit from the district have all been asked by county administration if they would be able to do a one-time gift, one-time give to the drug task force for the purchase and renovation of the building. And it sounds like several of the cities and townships that, the big townships and the big cities that benefit from the drug task force have volunteered that they would financially contribute to it. We were asked to contribute at the same level as the city of Franklin at $25,000. Seeing other communities that have larger budgets and are bigger and more dense than us have volunteered $50,000. Sounds like commissioners are going to eat the great majority of anything that they do, but an idea that percolated in me was that we do have the funds, the 6 figures of funds from the National Opioid Settlement that we started buying for a couple of years ago, and to me that seems like a very wise use of those funds if it is in fact permissible as a use. So if the board has the appetite to contribute those funds, I would think that the opioid settlement funds would be a good use as a source for that.
Do you have an
Vote
idea?
necessarily or anything, I just wanted to inform the board that that's what the ask was. And if you had any questions or wish to discuss, you're welcome to. Steve, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I should have waited, I'm sorry. Do you have a feel for when you're gonna find out if that will be permissible?
I should be able to find out in the next week or two. Does that have a bearing on your decision?
Just make you feel better about it.
It would be. It doesn't have to come from the police fund or from the general fund.
I was thinking about this, wouldn't that then, if they're gonna own the property, they're ongoing, does that mean we don't have to give them as much in the ongoing funding?
Yeah.
Because their expenses would then come down. If I own the house and I was renting the house, my monthly expenses go down.
I said if we're gonna pay that, I suggested that they put it in our name, so we own the property.
Just curious.
You know, and I said this to Matt, the county does, I mean, they do help us when they can. I don't know, we have a pretty good county to work with, but they also are sitting on $40 million. And we are not. So, anyway, and, but they do help us, so I guess let's play it by ear and see how everything works out.
Okay.
I'm not thrilled about, I'm getting running money from them for our salt man, our building, police station.
There's that.
Well, we do cover a territory that they would have to cover. Police.
Port Authority did take a little bit of administrative fees out of what we ended up bonding through the Port Authority, but they also helped coordinate that bill to give them credit where credit is due. They
No, I
served as a
think
proxy for us. And
overall, they treat us pretty fair and they, I think. Okay.
not that I'm stumping for.
I drew a blank on his name, what's his name? Administrator down there. What's the administrator's name in the county?
Oh, Martin Russell.
Martin, yeah.
Martin does a good job for us. I think helps us when he can.
Martin and I have a good relationship.
Yeah. I know you do. He's a good person. Anything else you have to bring up tonight?
You guys?
Anybody? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Gabbard?
Yes.
Mr. Mearsclaw?
Yes.
Mr. Wade?
Yeah.